So I thought this would be a fun little thing to try with the Dell Poweredge C6320 nodes. Each node is configured with a Xeon E5-2640V3, and it has 8 cores at 2.6 gigahertz each, 2 CPUs for a total of 16 cores, and currently sitting idle, the server is drawing, or well, I should say the node that is. The node is drawing 48 watts with Windows 10 just sitting idle. And thought it'd be fun to run Cinebench. So I will close this iDRAC window and I'm probably bring it up mid-test just to show how much the power utilization is. And things might start to struggle here a little bit with the remote access since this doesn't have any dedicated GPU. As you can see, I've already run the test once, but showing it run in real time is always interesting. And it doesn't perform too bad. It's faster than a 9th gen Core i9 and comes pretty close to a Ryzen Threadripper 1950X. I think with a little bit more clock speed, these would actually score a little better. May not come right up to that 16,000, but might get a couple of thousand more on the score. And I will bring back the iDRAC screen. I'll refresh it. It looks like we're currently drawing 184 watts. Which is about right because I believe each one of those CPUs is rated for a 90 watt TDP and they're basically getting maxed out. As you can see on Task Manager, basically all the cores are 100%. Do a quick refresh of the power utilization. Ramped up a little bit more, up to 208 watts now. And I think I'm going to mute my mic for a bit and just let the test run, and then I'll come back once it's over. One other thing, I guess, while this is running that I could look at would be thermals. These CPUs are running fairly hot, last I knew. Even at idle, I think they were at 100 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. And yeah, right now, CPU 1 is at 161 Fahrenheit and CPU 2 is at 147. My assumption would be is that CPU 2 is at the front of the node, closer to the fans. And CPU 1 would be towards the back where it's getting the preheated air because there's a significant temperature differential between the two. It's getting up a little higher now at 216 watts. I would assume some of that has to do with the increased fan speed. I'm assuming the fans don't contribute to the power drop per node, but I'm also willing to guess that it tracks that somehow and probably splits it up between the VMs. Well, we're getting to the end of the tests, and temperatures seem to have been leveling off now. CPU 1's been hanging around 165, and CPU 2's been 138 to 150. And it looks like power has been hanging steady at 216 watts now. It looks like this is going to score slightly better than my previous test run I did off video, I guess. And I don't know how Cinebench compares against real world stuff. It might not be quite as accurate as doing an actual real world test, but I don't really have anything at this time that I could try that with, so I'll go for the low hanging fruit basically. And we're almost done. And there we are. Looks like gained a few points since I last ran it. 12,668 was what the final score ended up being, which is actually on par if core count and speed translates the same between different processors, because basically that scores 75% of the Threadripper 1950X. And if you take 75% of 3.4 gigahertz, then it gets you at 2.55 gigahertz, which is basically 2.6. So, yeah, I don't know. The scores seem pretty good. It seems like a pretty capable machine from compute capabilities. I think in the next video, I'm going to try seeing how this does with CPU mining. I'm guessing it won't make any money, but I'm kind of curious to see what kind of payout or hash rate it would show. So hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.